we're on to the second, and I'm just going to show you my screen so you see where I'm at for a minute. So second half of the lesson here is 12.4b. Okay, so now this is solving matrices. And if you recall, yesterday we solved the 2x2s and you had to do it all by hand, right? You're going to solve 3x3s. I will never make you solve a 3x3 by hand. Isn't that exciting? Your calculator is going to do it all for you. So when we solve this, remember the idea is, just like we talked about before, A times X is equal to B, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well then X has to equal the inverse of A times B. So now we have to store two matrices. We need our A matrix and our B matrix, and then we can just plug it into the calculator and have the calculator solve it for us, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and go back to your calculator. I'm going to share mine again. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our matrix A. So go second matrix, that's the X to the negative 1 button, right? And then select A. Not select A, I lied. Second matrix, arrow over to edit and select A. We want to edit our A matrix. What are the dimensions of that first one? 3x3. So you can just enter because we want to keep the 3x3. God bless you. And now put your numbers in. So 0, 0, 2, 1, 3, -2, and then 1, -2, and 1. Okay, double check your numbers. Make sure you have your matrix put in there, right? And now we want to get out of this because we also need to put in matrix B. How do you get out of this? Second mode will quit you out of there. Second quit, okay, second mode. Okay, we also need a matrix B. So we're going to go second matrix, arrow over to edit. We don't want to change A because we need A. So go down to B and hit enter. What are the dimensions of your matrix B? 3x1. So you're going to hit 3, enter, 1, enter. And now put that second matrix in. So 6, and then -11, and then 8. Okay, now quit out of that. So second mode quits you out of there.
How does the second mode get you to there? Am I just supposed to
It's just, so see it says quit right here. So second mode is just saying quit, get out of the matrix setup.
Your screen is still like full of stuff, like your answers, and she said hers is a blank screen.
Oh,
that is a blank screen.
yes, yep, you're totally good still. That's just my last thing on there. Okay, so now you're at the point where you've stored your matrices. We need to do what I wrote on the screen, inverse of A times B. So we're going to go second matrix, select matrix A, so enter. How do I make it an inverse? X to the -1, this button right here. Okay, and then we're going to go times, and then second matrix, and select what? 2, okay? Or you can arrow down to B. Either way, we just want it to grab that matrix B. So now it says the inverse of A times B, and you hit enter. It did the work for you, you guys. Isn't that fantastic? Oh, I just never wrote that one down. Okay, so you should get 1, -2, 3 as your X matrix. Okay? Okay. look at example 2 here. I'm going to bring you back to my screen. And I'm going to move quickly here because I really want to make sure we get to the other setup too. So this one, you have to set it up first, right? You need your coefficient, you need your variable, and you need your constant matrix. So your coefficient is going to be 1, -3, 3, 2, 3, -1, 4, -3, -1. Okay, your variable matrix is x, y, and z. We have 3. And your constant matrix is -4, 15, and 19. Okay, so think of this as your A, your X, and your B still. We are still doing, to solve for X here, X is going to equal the inverse of A times B. Okay, I'm going to show you that in a minute because I don't want to jump away from this screen yet. We'll work that one out in a minute. If you want to work it out on your own in a minute, that's fine. But here's what I want you to look at for this next one. Same idea on this next one, but what's the difference? You have X, you have Z, you have Y, you have Z, you have X, you have Y, and you have Z. There are missing variables, right? You have to treat it like that variable is there, or you won't be able to set up a matrix. So think of it, when we set this one up, the number for our X is 1. That's going to go in the first spot. Y is missing. So what number is Y being multiplied by right now? 0. You have to put a 0 in there. And then 2. Okay. What's your next number going to be right here? 0. There is no X in that second row. So 0, and then 2, and then 3. And then your last row is 1, 1, 1. And then it's still X, Y, Z. And then the constant, 10, 5, 20. Okay, so just be careful with those. When there's missing variables, you need to plug in zeros in their place, in the right order, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go to example 2 again, and we're gonna plug that into our calculator, and then we're done. By the way, when you click on this lesson, there are calculator instructions. So if you forgot any of the steps for this, in Canvas, in today's lesson, there's a document called calculator instructions that will walk you through it. Okay, so you can go back and look at that if you have any questions on it. Okay, second, matrix, edit. Our first one, letter A, is a 3 by 3. That matrix, so 3 by 3, is 1, -3, 3, 2, 3, -1, and then 4, -3, -1. Okay, so that's our matrix A stored. You're gonna go second quit, get out of there. Then second matrix, and we're gonna edit again. So arrow over to edit. We want number 2, we want the B, which again is a 3 by 1. And that is the matrix -4, 15, and 19. Okay, so you store your matrices. Once you have that, you're going to quit out of there. So second quit, and now go second matrix. We want that A matrix first. We want the inverse of A. So we're going to hit A and then the inverse button. And then I think you don't even have to put times. I think you can just go matrix B if you want. I think it will assume multiplication. But just to be safe, I'm going to put the times in there. Go second to the B matrix and hit enter. And now you get 5, 1, -2. And that is your answer.
Wait, after you have the, how do you get the B in there? Time.
So you go second quit after you have the inverse, right? And then you go second matrix. Do you have your A inverse in there right now?
Yes. Now it's
If you really want your quiz, you can come